guys. Thank you once again. I know that you may have clicked this video out of curiosity because music therapy sounds like such a complex medical jargon. But I want to assure you that this is something that you may have benefited from or even participated in without actually knowing. I felt that this is an area that has not yet been tackled, especially here in Africa. This is an area that most people may be very green in, and people are not quite familiar with this because it's not something that people do consciously or even knowingly. But I know that in more developed countries, the music therapy may be done even in a professional level, and I know people may be quite familiar with that. And so I felt, because I'm a musician and I have participated in music therapy and I have a little training on this, it's good that I share and make known what this entails. Well, music therapy is when you use music for other reasons other than entertainment, especially to address other needs in the body or in a human being. It could be a physical need, an emotional need, or even a social. And this is used by people who have actually trained to be professional music therapists. But sometimes, especially here in Kenya, because this is not something that has been tackled professionally. I'm yet to hear about a music therapy center. If you know, you may let me know about it. But personally, I have participated in a music therapy session some years back, and I felt this is quite an area that people may need to look into and even maybe people train on, because this can be very beneficial for the community. In the Bible, there's a story where we see King Saul, where he used to call David to come and sing for him. The Bible reckons that sometimes King David would get an attack of it's a mood swing or something. We are not very clear what it was, but we know that he used to call David, who was a psalmist and a harp player, to come and sing for him. And when David sang, that whole feeling and the whole, whatever King Saul was going through would vanish and he would be okay again. Today, we have medical conditions, especially mental health issues, like people with a condition like bipolar and other, there's this disease, a condition by the old people when they grow old and they can't remember things. Is it called Alzheimer's or something? There's that name. And so when I look into the Bible, I can actually say that music therapy dates back to, those old times, because what David could do is come and play the harp. You can see I have my guitar here. Music has a component of emotional healing. For instance, there are people who love to listen to a particular song when maybe they are down, they are discouraged and all that. And then there's that particular song that you will listen to and it will lift your mood. And that is what David would do with King Saul, to come and maybe play his favorite song, and then his mood would change. And we all know that when our moods change, it also changes our behavior or even affect the actions we can take. If someone is going through depression and then you go to them and play some music, maybe a worship song, that will lift his spirit and give him a change of heart. And that person will change from feeling suicidal and depressed to feeling a bit hopeful and cheerful. That is music therapy. So the much I know about music therapy, I remember some years back, I used to participate in a music therapy session at Faraja Cancer Support Center, where we have people who are recovering cancer survivors who have gone through very difficult medical procedures and the process, and then they would come together like to share their stories. And somebody once saw me playing the guitar somewhere and requested whether I could participate in that program. And so I used to go. And when those people are just seated there sharing their stories, I would pick several songs that maybe are songs, especially because country music is rich. And country music has songs that are about almost everything in life. There's a country music song about cancer. There's a country music song about death. When you sing a song of hope to somebody who is feeling down, somebody who has gone through so much physical pain and who has a lot of emotional burden, and that song leads them to either cry, to sing along, to cheer up a bit, that is music therapy. And if we would have more people doing music therapy, I'm sure there are so many issues and conditions that people are battling, where music, even if it doesn't necessarily heal in the medical sense, will heal your emotion, will make your journey quite easy, will make your pain bearable and all that. That is what music therapy is all about. And music therapy, according to the research I've done and the much reading I've done and interacted with people who have done music therapy across the world, it touches on the whole of the human being, because there's a music therapy that is for the physical body. For example, because music therapy, it has so many components. It's a very deep topic, and I'm trying just to summarize and talk about things that you can relate with. When someone, like, you have an accident and you have become incapacitated, maybe you broke an arm or you broke your backbone or any other part of the body, and the occupational therapist, the occupation therapy is where, like, people try to exercise you or to engage you in activities that will make your body parts that have been dormant for some time or are quite disabled to become active. You can do music therapy in form of dancing. You can put a favorite song or a slow song that someone who has a broken limb and needs to engage that limb or the back or the legs so that they can start becoming active and start healing. When you use dance to make that person participate and their body parts will move to the rhythms that you're creating, people who have trained professionally on music therapy, they have those techniques that they know which body part are they targeting in every particular exercise. If you are targeting, for instance, the body limbs, you will use dancing, because in dancing the whole body will get engaged and the body parts will get to move, and this person will get to his mobility or her mobility, even if they are on a wheelchair and you are trying to make them stand and move. That is music therapy. Something else that can benefit from music therapy is our mind. There are people, as I have mentioned before, if someone is depressed and you sing with them or you sing to them a song that they love, and that person's mood start, maybe a spiritual song that will talk about God's power to deal with their issue, and that person will start responding by feeling hopeful, and the mood start changing, and this person who was thinking of committing suicide will feel like there's a reason to live. That is music therapy targeting the brain or the mind. We have music therapy, which will even target the mood. You can go to see somebody who is grieving the loss of a loved one. And when people die, the people we love, we feel brokenhearted. We feel like it's the end of life. And that is why in funerals and mashakaya, we usually sing songs that are sad. Why? Because life will have those sad moments. And music is a tool that provokes our emotions. It activates or changes our moods and tunes it to that particular mood. If you sing a song that is, they are called dirges, I guess, the songs about funeral and about death. And these people who are grieving, because some of us think that crying is weakness, but crying is not weakness. Actually, crying is strength. Because when someone you love has died, you feel a heart that is heavy, you feel tearful, and you feel lost. And when someone comes and sings for you a song that will remind you maybe of the memories you shared with this person, or maybe the favorite song. I remember there's a time somebody died, somebody's husband died, and the wife reached out to me that on the funeral, I go and sing a country song. It was, I think, a Jim Reeves country song, because that was her husband's favorite song. And I went to that funeral and I sang that song. Why am I singing that song? So that because this song is giving this woman a certain memory she would love to keep about the husband. That is music therapy. We also have social issues. For instance, there are people who are being rehabilitated because they are in drugs, or somebody has gone through an addiction for so long and maybe they are in rehab or in a certain kind of counseling session to make their behavior change. We have artists who have sung songs maybe about mihadarati, about drugs, about positive living. And when you engage a youth who is recovering maybe from alcoholism or from addiction of substances, and you're singing songs about good behavior, songs that carry messages of positivity and a change of heart and all that, and this person is singing along, this person is participating in the message. We say that music is very powerful because music can influence how you live. Music can even influence your life choices. And so when you engage music among people who are recovering, maybe they're in a rehab or they are in jail or they are even in a school. There are people who just do crazy things and they are just troublemakers at school. And you engage these people to sing, maybe even songs about, people have sung about HIV, people have sung about corruption and all that. And you engage this kind of music with people, a target audience that you want them to believe in this song, carry this message and own it, and also try to live by that. That is music therapy, addressing a social need. So most of the people who benefit from music therapy, of course, all of us have benefited from music therapy at one time or the other, maybe knowingly or not even knowing, but all of us can agree that there is something that music make us feel. There's a way that music make us behave or even live our lives or even make our life decisions. Beneficiaries of music therapy can be people with emotional health issues. For instance, people with bipolar, as I'm saying. Nowadays, we have names for some of these conditions. Maybe at what King Saul had was bipolar, who knows? But back then, there may never been a diagnosis or a label for such a condition, because people with bipolar tend to have those extreme mood swings. For instance, you may be very happy and excited with someone and you're telling stories, and then in the evening you find the same person, they are so mad, they are so aggressive, and you're like, what? This person, you can calm him or her down with music. If you put maybe the favorite song that they love, you may notice this person has started to calm down and is starting to be rational and to even be someone you can have a conversation with, because music has a way that it makes us feel. If I play your favorite song, even if you're mad at me, even if you are not even, I was not able to have a conversation with you because of how you're behaving. A favorite song is always capable of just calming you down and bringing you to, wait a minute, I love that song. So when we use music with people who are having health issues or even mental issues, we have people who are in mental institutions, people who have gone there because they have extreme issues mentally, and that person may respond to a song, that person may respond to a singing activity where he's feeling that there's a song that he loves and it's able to captivate and capture his mind and his attention to even listen to other things or to even follow another instruction. Other people who have benefited from or who can be beneficiaries of music therapy are people in hospices. There are people who are battling illnesses, sicknesses, people who are on their deathbed, literally waiting for their last day. And these people, you may not have much to give them because their days are numbered according to the medics. And you may realize this is a person, maybe it's your mom or it's your auntie, and it's their last days on earth, but you can go with a guitar like this or any instrument, and you will go sit there with them and just sing their favorite songs. There's a time I remember someone contacted me from America, and they had just seen me with a guitar on Facebook and all that, and their mother was very sick in a hospital. She was battling diabetes. And that woman asked me on Facebook whether I can do her a favor. And so I said yes. She said, I don't know whether you have ever done this, but I want you to go to hospital where my mother is admitted with your guitar. My mother loves gospel songs. She knows Kikuyu. Can you sing songs in Kikuyu? I said yes. So this woman said, I'm going to even send you fare. Please go to this and this hospital. She's in this ward, this bed, and just say that I sent you to sing her favorite Kikuyu songs. Well, that was the first time. I never thought that music can be that deep. Sometimes we sing for money and for entertainment, but there are things you can do even if nobody's paying you. You feel so fulfilled. And I went to that hospital and I started singing. So I told this woman, so and so sent me to you and said I come and play. And she was like, what? Yes, we started singing with her some Kikuyu gospel songs, and the whole world, everybody was turning to look at us singing with the guitar. And one nurse came along and asked me, why don't you be coming here every day? So I never thought that music can actually be that instrumental to a person who is in pain, to a person who is even hopeless and bedridden because totally they can't do anything. And that actually opened something in me that I don't always have to sing for money or for fame or for even to make a name and all that. I can do music for a deeper purpose. And from that time, I started doing that. Not often, but because sometimes you also need consent with the patient. There's another lady who once called me and told me that she's about to go and see a friend who is having cancer, and that person loves my song, Odosho Ane Mohodo, and so she requested, can you please record a video of yourself doing that song and send me on WhatsApp so that when I go and show that guy, I just want to see him cheer up. And I did that. Because if God is using you, the skill that He has given me to do more than I even thought was possible. People have contacted me and said that I was battling this and this illness and I was in the hospital. And I was listening to your song, Munyamarori. In fact, in December, somebody texted me that she has been hospitalized for about 2 months. And every time she was in pain, she would listen over and over to the song Munyamarori. And what can I say? That this is God's doing. It is marvelous in our eyes because God works in ways that we cannot understand. Maybe there is a healing element in my songs. I don't know, because that is God. God's power using a song to heal. God's power can even give you a miracle. You never know. And so me as the vessel, all I can say is, may God continue using me and taking all the glory to Himself, because He's the one who made me and He knows what purposes He have for me. We can also use music therapy for rehabilitative needs or occupational therapy, as I had mentioned. There are people who have like stroke. Someone who has a stroke means paralyzed in some of the body parts. And when you engage these people in a music, maybe a slow dance, a slow song where they can swing and try to use their hands or whichever body part is incapacitated, you never know that. This can actually let this person have the chance to express himself, to use the body parts that are hurting to try and get better. We even have those people, that medical terminology, it's escaping me, the one where they lose memory because they have grown so old and they are in elderly homes. And those people, they may have forgotten everything, but you can just sing a song they used to sing back in their days and they will relate to that. They will start becoming even excited because the music has a way of staying in our memories. There's a song you can hear and then it will remind you of a time when this and this happened. In fact, music always takes us back to a certain event in our lives. If you lost someone during a certain period and there was a song that was on hit back then, I am sure that when you hear that song, it takes you back to that memory. So music has this ability to provoke our memory, to take us back into some incident or into some, even to events in our lives that are important. So music therapy, as I said, it's a very wide and deep subject. I'm trying just to summarize and to tackle the light stuff that guys can actually understand. The element of music therapy is in two categories. There's the creative therapy and there's the receptive. Creative is when I take my guitar as the therapist and then I play a song and let the patient or the people who are benefiting actually listen. After they listen, I can even start asking them, what did you understand in that song? What does that song make you remember? What does that song make you think about? That is music therapy, where it provokes thoughts and it provokes a debate or a conversation about something, The other one is the receptive, where you as the client may not sing with me, but I can actually play or even tell you to just listen to a song and and let it take you to whichever mood. If you feel like crying, just cry. In fact, there's a song called Just Let Me Cry. That song is about cancer, and the singer is saying, we call them what? The narrator, the persona. I think the persona in the song, like this song is talking about someone who's battling cancer. And, we all try to be brave and to brace those situations and not look weak, not look beaten, not look defeated. But in that song, he says, just let me cry. When I feel like crying, let me cry, because you're tired of holding it up and putting an act like you're so strong, you're not feeling pain, you're trying to look brave in front of everyone. Just let me cry. And so when you sing this kind of songs, they actually provoke and let people be able to express themselves. Even people who may be feeling guilty of things they did. Maybe somebody did an abortion, maybe somebody killed someone, they are in jail. and they have always felt the guilt in their lives. And you go and sing a song, and you let their heart be provoked to feel and to respond, and they will start talking and telling you how they feel. Do they regret? Do they feel remorseful? Do they feel those things will be provoked by a song? Even listening to just music, even telling people to write songs. When you read the book of Psalms, you will realize that David was just a great guy. David was a psalmist, a person who plays instruments. When you see us loving our instruments so much, it's because these instruments are very therapeutical for us. When we are down or when we are excited, we usually take these kind of instruments, and you just feel a song starting to come, because as you play, the mind becomes creative. The heart wants to express things that words cannot express. And so God gives you a melody, and you put across a beautiful song or a moving worship song or a good praise song to tell the Lord what he has done. And so when you look in the book of Psalms, you'll find that David was a very emotional person who would respond to everything. When he won battles, he would come and write songs of praise to God and say that, if the Lord was not on our side, the enemy would have swallowed us. Sometimes you find David writing about his heart, like he feels so heartbroken, he feels so remorseful because he has gone against God. And this guy, it was therapy for him, I think, to sing and write psalms. And so that's why most of the songs that are sung from the book of Psalms, zile zimeandikwa na David, they become very deep songs that people want to relate to, because David would be very open with God. He would even tell God, like, create within me a clean heart and restore me to your ways, because I have clearly gone astray. That is a music therapist, someone who would use the skill that God has given him, the skill of playing the harp, the way I play this guitar. When I sit down and I have a message for God's people, God give me a melody, I take this instrument and I play. Another way that music is actually used is when we use music therapy among small kids. When we were in baby class, and maybe most of you who still have small kids, you see that kids are able to respond so well to music. When you want to teach kids things and you use a song, they will totally understand. They will catch that nini at our sahau. And that's why you find a lot of these baby class and the lower primary kids, a lot of music is used when you want them to learn something. And anything that a kid learns in a song, they never forget. We have even seen things like Akili Kids, where they have so many tunes that are tunes with educative material. They will tell you what is A, B is for what, and all that. And those kids don't forget. That is music therapy used for educational purposes. We have kids who are having special needs. The way we keep saying that kids with special needs are taken even for therapies, for occupational therapy, even for speech therapy, and even there music therapy comes in handy, because when you tell a kid who has, for instance, cerebral palsy, a kid whose hand movement is limited, and you engage them to play an instrument like this, because this instrument is played by shaking. So definitely she or he will have to use their limbs. And because music is interesting, and music is very captivating. Even someone who doesn't have speech but will hear a melody and hear that is something sweet, and they will want to try out. If you tell a kid, like, I've been using music therapy, this instrument, with Loveline, my daughter who is battling autism and overcoming it day by day. When I tell Loveline to hold this and to do ba, ba, black sheep, you find that because she's finding it interesting. Why? Because of the sounds of this. And because now she has to move her hands, it has really improved her motor skills. I find that this person is enjoying and is eager to try out. Yeah, so music therapy is also beneficial to kids, as I say, because kids are able to connect with the emotions and the excitement that comes with singing, and to even understand everything that you teach them in a song. Music is able to soothe babies to sleep. Those of us who are parenting, people with small ones, I know that when you put a toddler to sleep, you try to sing a lullaby for them. That's why they used to have those songs for for putting kids to sleep. Why? Because music is therapeutic. When you sing a slow song and you're rocking a baby forth and right, and the kid just feel relaxed and they start to shut down, and eventually you find that the baby has slept. That is music therapy at home. Now, as I told you, that music therapy sounds like a very complex jargon, but it's actually something we have done, something we have experienced, something we have benefited from in so many ways without knowing. But now you know. And because this is a deep subject and I may not be I've not done this as a course, like I'm able to tell it from a very professional point, but I have tried to do music therapy in my literal own way, and I feel this is something that people need to know. Do not forget to subscribe and to even share this video, leave a comment. And even if you invite me to come and do music therapy to your loved one, I will not hesitate to. You can always contact me, and I'll be glad to serve in this capacity, because it is God who has given me the gift and even the knowledge, and I'll be glad to serve, because we are all vessels of the Lord in His own way, and He can use us in whichever way He may want. You can also do your own research about music therapy, and if we can have people who can actually come up with this course, maybe in the medical field or in the education, I don't know which field would just come up with this, it would be such a good thing for the community, because so many of us are talented, and if we have the right skills, we are ready to serve. When the Lord says go, we are just ready to go and serve. God bless you. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe and to share. Leave a comment and even contact me if you may.